The distributive property is if you have some expression on the outside of another expression in parentheses, you can multiply the expression on the outside to each term inside. So this becomes 5 times x plus 5 times 7. Which in turn becomes 5x plus 35. So you can kind of see it with a rectangle too, that if you take a rectangle and we'll let this side be 5 and this length be x and this length be 7, the area of this rectangle is going to be 5x and the area of this rectangle is going to be 35. So the area of this whole thing can be written as 5x plus 35 or 5 times the quantity x plus 7. So what you need to do is you're going to take the number outside and multiply it by each. So this is going to turn into 3 times 2x, which is 6x, and 3 times negative 7. So make sure that you're taking that negative with it. You don't need to write the negative twice, just do 3 times negative 7, which is negative 21. Now this one, there's a negative on the outside, so that means you're going to make each term inside here opposite. So I try to think of as cover up that negative sign and make each thing inside here opposite. So the opposite of positive 3x is negative 3x. And the opposite of negative 4 is positive 4. So just so we're straight right here with terms, a term has either a number or variable expression without, so it doesn't have a plus sign or a minus sign. So this would be, so each term in an expression like this is separated by a plus or a minus sign. So this is a term right here, this is a term right here, this is a new term, and this is a new term. So a term can either be negative or positive. So this right here expression has 4 terms. So, a constant is an expression without a variable. So a constant would be negative 12 right here. It is the only term that does not have a variable with it. So we think of variable as varying based on the value for x or the y. This is always staying the same because it doesn't have a variable with it. It's constant. A coefficient is a number in front of the variable. So the coefficients are 6, that's a coefficient, negative 5, make sure you take the negative with it, negative 5 is a coefficient, 3 is a coefficient, and negative 12 is not a coefficient because it's not a number in front of a variable. Like terms are terms with the same variables and exponents. So, if I look right here, there's no like terms in here because this is a squared and this is just a and b and this is 3b. So, and this is negative 12. They don't have the same. So examples of like terms would be like 5a plus 6a. These are like terms because they have the same variables with the same exponent, which technically would be a 1. 5a squared plus 6a, these are not like terms because this a is squared and this a is not. if you had 6xy plus 7yx, these are like terms because this has an x and a y and this has a y and an x. These are like terms. So we're going to simplify by combining like terms right here. So if you have, these are like terms because they both have x squared. So 2x squared plus, I'm actually going to write a 1 in front of here, 1x squared is 3x squared. So you add the coefficients and you keep the exponents and the variables the same. So 7m's plus 3m's is 10m's. Negative 2w plus 1w is negative w. 5 minus 3 is 2xy squared. So down here we're going to simplify expressions using distributive property. And at the end we're going to combine like terms. Okay, we always want to make sure we're combining variables that are the same. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this part and then this part. So in blue, I'm going to have negative 3x minus 18. And in black, I'm going to have plus 2x minus 8. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to combine these. So I'm going to write, I always write my x's first and my constants last. So my x's that are going to go first, I have a negative 3x and a 2x. That's going to be a negative 1x or an x, negative x. And negative 18 and negative 8. If I add negative 18 and negative 8 together, I get negative 26. So it's not enough just to do the distributive property, you actually have to combine like terms. So down here I'm going to do the same here. The first part, this opposite, is going to make each one of these opposite. So it's going to be negative 2x minus 5. Then negative 4x minus 4. Now I'm going to combine like terms. So my like terms are these two x's and these two constants. So a negative 2x and a negative 4x is going to give me negative 6x. And a negative 5 and a negative 4 is going to give me negative 9. Okay, when you see the phrase, the quantity, that's a good indicator that you're going to need to put parentheses in your expression. So we've talked about writing algebraic expressions, but now you could have algebraic expressions with parentheses. So example, twice. So twice means to multiply something by 2. The quantity, that means add parentheses, 5 plus x. It's just reading that we have to write an expression for each phrase, so we're just going to leave it like this. And then 4 times the quantity, y minus 3. And then we're going to practice these here. Simplify each. So if I see the distributive property in here, I'm going to take this, underline it. So first I'm going to write negative 4x, and then I'm going to simplify the second part. So plus 6x minus 15. So negative 4x plus 6x is 2x minus 15 is the answer. And then this part, that's going to be 8a plus 8 and then minus 17. So 8a, then I'm going to do 8 minus 17. So 8 minus 17 is negative 9. So the answer is 8a minus 9. And then at the end, write an expression for each phrase. The product, so product means multiply, of negative 15. So you're going to multiply negative 15. And the quantity, so remember quantity means parentheses, n minus 7. And b, 32 divided by the quantity, so I need to put parentheses, m plus 12.